It's 5 o'clock in your Off the Clock with B Scott. Today we have as our guests Matt Hubbell and Michael Harvey from the Arkansas Tiller Handle Outlaws and Performance Boats page on Facebook. Now, these guys run a page that has a huge crowd of experts and just tiller handle boaters. Anybody in the performance boat area is in the Arkansas Tiller page. Tons of knowledge, all right? Now, there's haters in there. There's lovers in there. There's crybabies in there. There's a little bit of everything. But let me tell you something. If you're looking for knowledge about performance boats, somebody in there can answer your questions. What they're doing this year is they have a huge giveaway. So, and you can have a chance to win a boat here. All right. At these sandbars, what you can do is you can come learn about boats, test different boats, try different setups, tons of knowledge, people, experts. I mean, it's going to be a good time. We're going to talk about all this. But before we get into it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Now let's get into it.
So what's your vision in doing this sandbar racing?
Man, my vision is more than anything is I want to show some of these guys that are, up and coming, don't know much about it, the brotherhood that's always been there in the boating industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only that, but the majority of the guys that hold all the information are running Havoc boats.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
know, and really, like, we seen that big whenever we went to the races and put, like, the Yamaha team versus Mercury team. It was like, wow, the two sides kind of fighting against each other. And it's like all that experience of one place. Anybody that came could ask any questions, and people were jumping around and helping them.
Yeah, and not only that, but you got, everybody wants to float the nose.
Yeah, everybody wants to float the nose.
Everybody thinks it's cool to float the nose. They don't understand the science and the work that goes into doing that.
Yeah,
trying props.
And there's multiple ways to do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's like a really fast floating the nose.
But there's a difference, floating the nose. But there's a difference of floating the nose than just pushing water.
Yes.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, a lot of folks. You see a lot of boats out there right now just shoving the stern down in the water, and it pushes this roll of wave. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? So if you start looking at floating the nose, I mean, they don't care if they're floating the nose at 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But we like to float the nose at 60 miles an hour. And it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference. But, the trend right now is on the internet is people want to float the nose so high they can't see over the bow.
That's almost like they do the tinny boats in Australia.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, then again, y'all got to remember, I mean, look at the Carolina squat.
That's
like I mean, dude, it's like that, but in the boat world.
It is. It really is.
Like,
I mean, you see these kids.
I mean, Daryl, I know you see it on social media all the time.
Yeah, it's
and
ridiculous.
Shockley goes, to all these sanctioned races all the time. They're just shoving water. It's like wave runners or something. Like they're riding the wave.
I just personally don't get it.
I don't either. It slows you down.
The guys,
fast.
It is.
Yeah.
Flat is fast.
I mean, you can have a little bit of you can have just enough lift out of your dead riser hole, but you need to stay somewhat flat.
Not flat, but
but you need to stay flatter than that.
I would just say efficient.
If you can't see your buoy at the end of the race,
they're doing that strictly for looks.
Yeah, they're definitely for looks, but it puts a lot of strain and pressure on the transom. On the transom,
It does.
Dude, it's pounding the bottom of that boat.
Oh
right there.
People don't realize how hard that water is. You got to break water tension.
All that pressure.
They're driving that boat in the water.
Well, they're putting hooks in the boat.
Yeah,
everybody knows what happens when you put a hook in a boat.
I mean, it's terrible.
Not every boat's made to withstand that either.
It's not.
It's not.
No, you take one of
That's why they're doing it with Havocs.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, that's you can take a Mod 40 and you can do the same thing. The 80 gauge stuff. It don't matter what you really build the boat out of. If the last 7 or 8 inches of the boat is getting pounded, like you're driving the stern of that boat down in the water.
You are,
and
you're cracking welds. You're stressing. You're stressing metal out.
If you see all the nose floating out there, they got the byway up there, and they're shoving that water. They're just shoving that water forward. And that boat just rides in front of that wave.
Man, you can look at the water spray and tell a lot about what a boat's doing.
Absolutely,
that's exactly right.
And
you can see the daylight under the boat, and then you see like a little wave of just water rolling.
And they got so much setback, they're having to drive it like it's right here.
Hey, you guys know too. You get all that setback. What's going to happen in the woods?
It's going to be really tough to drive.
It's hard to drive home.
Yeah, you don't want a lot of setback in the woods for sure.
No, you don't want a lot of setback. That's kind of where the Gen 2 comes in. You know, but you don't want a lot of setback. And the key of getting a boat to run right is getting it to run efficient. You know, releasing the water off the back of the boat.
Yeah.
My little built 25. I mean, it was built to the hilt.
It was. I remember back in the day.
Everything you could do to it, it was done.
Mm-hmm.
But my fuel mileage was outstanding. It was on pump fuel. I never raced race fuel through that motor. I could run the whole runner at 108-mile boat race we used to do. I could run it on 6 gallons of fuel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I knew of you couldn't do that with a 59.
That's right.
I know guys that was taking 34 gallons of fuel on 108 miles, for a hot motor.
Yeah,
Right.
Stopping somewhere and filling up.
Efficient fuel mileage.
No, it's all for free.
No, it's not.
I'd have to say, hands down, the worst is a Mega. Back whenever we were going to putting in at Old Man's and stuff, and me and you put in down there at Pocahontas Bridge one day and run up there to that sandbar there and back. I was running on fumes, and that was just a stock motor.
And I'm pretty sure I told you to bring extra fuel.
Yeah.
Nobody ever listens. Nobody ever listens.
No.
But for instance, that 25, I didn't make it what it was by floating the nose. I didn't care anything about floating the nose. It was a part of it.
It's just one of those new things nowadays. I mean, everybody loves to float the nose.
It is.
It's just one of those new things, and I think a lot of people are starting to understand that you can float the nose at 45 miles an hour, or you can float the nose at 60.
Yeah.
It just depends on the hull design.
Yeah.
It does.
It really does. A lot goes into it, but the functionality of the boat, especially in the floated timber, is what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have so many different models.
I think you got to explain to people too about when you say floating nose with the hull design, because a lot of these guys are buying the boats trying to float the nose, but they're not realizing what kind of boat they're buying.
That's
float
right.
the nose.
That's
Right.
That's the more important thing. Like these guys get on there and they're like, "Well, my boat don't float the nose out the box." It's like, well, which boat did you buy?
Yeah.
And not only
start
what
there.
boat did you buy, but it's like, what's your setup?
Yeah, what
People want to buy a boat and then cut corners on like trailers, the jack plate. They want to cut corners here and there.
China
And it's like,
YBS.
well, if you want to cut the corner on the jack plate and the prop and everything that goes with floating the nose, you're not gonna have that result. It's gonna be much harder to do it.
Yeah.
I see people cut corners on trailer purchases. And the next thing they cut corners on is their setup.
Yep.
For some reason, I don't know why.
The most important part.
Yes.
It'd be the jack plate.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what are you doing?
They will. What most customers will do is they'll buy a cheap trailer. They'll buy the boat they want. Then they'll spend lots of money in a motor that's 10 to 15 years old, right? But they will not spend money on a good bobs or a good hydraulic jack plate.
No.
And it blows my mind. I can't tell you how many times I text people every night. You need a heavy, solid jack plate if you're going to run a VJ.
Yes.
Absolutely.
People are getting these VJs and are putting 6-inch setback hydraulic advanced kicking jacks. Advanced kicking jack is an awesome setback, but unfortunately, you need 10 to 12.
Yeah.
And people just don't understand that. Like, yes, you're going to go buy a $2,000 jack plate to make your boat float the nose like Facebook wants it.
And
Hey,
especially,
y'all know what BOAT stands for, don't you?
What's that?
Bust out another 1,000.
Absolutely.
That's what I say. I feel like it's true.
Absolutely.
Bust out another 1,000.
We know.
But it goes back to the I had a guy text me not too long ago when a boat that turns really, really, really hard, in the timber. And I said, well, get you a Gen 2, 553 Gen 2. Because the reason why the Gen 2 is so badass is because you're moving that motor closer to the balance point of the boat, and it just hooks up and turns.
Right.
Right. When you start putting a lot of setback, you know this. When you start putting a lot of
Yes.
setback in a boat, the first thing it does, you get in the woods, and the ass end drags. You can't see over your bow. You gotta go faster, stay on plane.
You got to have 4 foot to get on plane.
That's right.
And
4 foot
pile
of water,
everybody
get
in
on
the
front.
front.
That's right. Shockley, you know what I'm talking about,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
I mean, you want a boat. I mean, you guys want a boat that gets on plane at low speeds that maintains on plane,
Yes.
right?
So this was always a rule of thumb for me. The more setback you got, the harder it is to get out of the hole, the slower it is to get out of the
Yes.
hole.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
lose
that's
whole shot, you gain legs.
right.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
But
on
if
the
you're
big
racing,
end.
but if you're racing to the woods, I mean, the whole shot's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole
It's
shot.
everything.
Everything's the whole shot. You're stopping
But
and
then,
going.
but then again, you go back to setback, because if you're racing at a race or even a sandbar race, your setup's totally different than you're going to be out in the woods racing.
100%. Even to the prop. You're
That's
not going
right.
to run the same prop that you are when you're racing.
16 YBS is all around prop.
I will
15 pitch,
race
you know.
with a 16 YB.
I will.
I know I've seen it.
I'll be
the
honest
prop.
with you. It took us years to develop a prop that was more consistent and faster than a YBS.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
we've done
YBS
everything.
YBS, but matter of fact, we got them on the gear shop too. If you guys want a YBS, we do sell them.
It took us a
Yeah.
while though.
But a YBS is probably one of
It's
the
the-
finest props in the box.
Out of
you
the
can buy.
box.
Yeah,
I have busted a lot of heads.
for sure.
Oh,
with a
yeah,
YBS.
sure.
with 2 people in the boat.
And the turbo.
Yeah, I've seen that personally.
And the
you know.
turbo 15s are coming on strong too. You know,
Turbo's always been a
I
good
see-
prop.
I've seen a lot of people run turbos.
For the 25 world, when I was having my Yamaha built 25, turbo was a prop to have.
Yeah,
You want an all around
They
prop.
still
You
run
can,
good.
you could race with it. You could run through the woods with it. They're not cheap. They're hard to find.
That's the way the YBS is.
Right.
yeah.
But you get what you pay for.
Oh,
you'll,
we
see,
got-
you'll see people at Pineville
Exactly.
running
What you just
YBS.
said is the
You get
answer
what you
to
pay for.
90% of the setup problems. It's
You
like,
know,
a lot of people.
you
I
get
mean,
what you pay for.
you know, I think a lot of the problem with Havoc because we sell a lot of boats, right? So you get a lot of different personalities, and some people just don't understand how it works.
They
you
don't.
know? And the easiest thing to do is go to Facebook, say, "Hey, I want to tote the nose."
Right.
know.
Man, there is a plunder of information on my boat page.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
If you get
It's
out there
crazy.
and you ask, there's people that'll come out of the woodworks to help you.
but the
you
number
just
one,
gotta ask.
but the number one mistake most people go to, and this is going to be a good podcast. A lot of people need to know this. The number one mistake people make is they go to a prop selection first.
Yes.
And I'm like, guys, listen, you got to balance your boat first.
Absolutely.
boat has to be balanced.
That is key.
Yeah, if you're not, it's like going to a tire shop, getting 4 tires put in your truck, and don't put the weights on there. It's
yeah,
still a
right.
good tire.
Yeah, yeah.
It's still a good tire.
but it's not
You just want to
balanced.
ride it like shit.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
So that's the same thing about boats. I mean, you have to balance your boat. You know, if you weigh 200, 300 pounds, you got to do some work.
Some counterweight. You're gonna
That's
have to have
right.
some counterweight.
You got to do some counterweight. And, you know, mud boats, you know, Daryl, you run mud boats all year, and you're same thing,
Yeah.
right? You got to move people to the front left of the boat sometimes.
Left and right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
mud boats,
Got to move
weight
the
is-
motor over a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's 2 different balance points. So you
Okay.
have the
I know
front
that.
to back balance point, and then you got the side to side.
that's right.
Right.
So I mean, really, there's a lot to it, and I would say that just about 99% of people that have questions about setup, if they went out there and just balanced their boat out, that would fix majority of it. Because what we find is we'll try all these different props on our boats, and it's like, okay, they all run within a couple tenths of themselves,
And
but they all
do.
run good.
They do.
And they do different things.
Right.
Like
Right.
some may be a bow lifting prop, some may be a stern lifting prop. It's all according to what you're wanting to do.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I think these events are going to be important. A lot of these kids don't understand that, and there's going to be a plunder of information. People willing to help.
And there's a bunch
Yeah,
of them on
yeah.
the page.
There is.
There is.
I think a lot of people misunderstand that stern lifting prop and actual lifting your hull out of the water and tilting your bow. They get confused on how to set a boat up.
I've
Yes.
tried to tell a buddy that he's got
You
a weld built with a 59 and he's got just a pontoon style prop on there, and his problem is that's the more people you put in the front, the faster you can go. Otherwise, it's just slapping the whole time, and he doesn't understand.
It's not. It's
dolphin riding.
And you're 100% right. It's not the weight you put in the boat. It's the weight you move around in your boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people get confused about that. They'll text me. I'd be 9 o'clock at night. I'd be sitting in my chair and be like, my boat runs like crap, whatever. And I got to stay positive, by the way. It's super hard. But so I'm like, look, man, I'm like, hey, I put 4 people in front of the boat and it still bounces. I'm saying, well, it doesn't matter what you put in front of the boat. What's in the back of your boat?
Absolutely.
Take what's in the back of your boat, put it in the front of the boat, and get rid of the 4 people
Yeah.
you threw in the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't throw a Band-Aid on the setup. Get educated. Find out what's really causing the boat to run like that.
It's all leverage.
It's all leverage. It's like a seesaw. I tell everybody it's a seesaw deal. It goes this way, this way, this way. You got a big guy on one end. You got a skinny guy on one end. You can pick that big guy up where the pivot point of the boat needs to be.
Yep.
And that's what people don't understand. And we could set up a boat here at the factory without putting it in the water, and it would run good based off of the pivot point of the boat, not a prop selection, because it will run the same with aluminum prop.
Yeah.
If the boat is balanced, the prop will push it. That's what people don't understand. And, that's something that we all learn at the races, right?
Mm-hmm.
That, you take nine props, and they're within, 2 or 3 tenths of a second.
Correct.
most people that buy a boat 3/10 of a second, they don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You don't
Right?
even, you
Well,
don't even notice that.
You get to a certain point when
Yeah.
you're not looking for
Right.
5 more mile an hour.
Yeah.
You're looking for
That's right.
a
Tenths.
tenth of a
we
second.
chase tenths.
Yeah,
That's what it comes down
100%.
to.
But this is the amazing part about it. So if the boat is balanced right and everything's set up correctly, your jack plate is set up right and everything, you got 3/10 of a second difference, right? You got 9 props. You don't spend $5,000 in props.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Worked props.
yeah,
Easily.
$5,000 and all it took was balancing your boat.
and a lot of time.
You know, a lot of time.
lot
Time
of
in your
time,
boat
you know.
is key.
And you know, I think people just get on Facebook and they just get impatient and they're like, hey, I want to tote the nose, but they won't put the work in or buy the proper equipment to tote the nose, you know?
And I feel like a lot of that is us too. You know, we could definitely make videos explaining it and helping educate people.
Right.
But nothing beats going up to a sandbar with a bunch of guys that know what's going on.
And that's what I'm
to
excited
address it. And that's what
With experience.
Right.
You know, the experience is a lot to it.
Mm.
When I first got into the race scene, there was just a handful of people that was doing it. But them handful of people had been doing this before it was cool.
Right.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
They were doing it for the Duckwoods. And so we started a little friendly grudge racing. And man, I'm gonna tell you, every time I went to the grudge races, I learned something new.
Right.
Every time. And it also pushed me to be faster.
Mhm.
If I wasn't at them races or I had a race coming up, man, I'd spend weeks, you know, tinkering with my boat, trying to get it faster, trying to get it lower, down to using stopwatches, setting buoys up on lakes and using stopwatches. Man, I shaved a 10th here. I shaved a 10th there. Do I need more setback? Do I need a different prop?
Mhm.
You know, a lot of thought process goes into just racing boats. But if you're just wanting an everyday boat, float the nose is fun.
It is, and I
But-
think more people are just want that type of ride for no reason. They don't want to hunt with it. They don't want to go there with it. They just
Right.
want to feel like their nose is up and they're just cooking down
Hair in the
river.
wind.
And they might only be going
Yeah.
35, 40. you know?
Right.
They don't
But they
care.
don't care.
No.
They don't care. And
No.
it really blows my mind.
It's almost like a trend thing, you know. That's
It is.
4 or 5 years ago. I remember one of the selling points for boats was, the main question was how fast will it go? Nobody cared how it rode. They
Well,
just
you see it in the bass boat. You see it in the bass boat industry, in the fiberglass industry. You know,
Well, at one point it was how hard could a boat turn?
yeah.
You know, I
It
mean,
went
we've
from like
had-
functional to just like,
I've seen boats
something way
turn so
different.
hard that they flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
With
we
a mud
flip,
boat.
we flip some.
yeah.
Daryl, you ever flipped a duck boat?
No, not flipped it.
Oh,
I've
no.
been thrown out of it, but not flipped it.
Oh, yeah.
I've been thrown out many
I've
times.
been thrown out several times.
yeah.
I've
Yeah.
flipped a couple myself. You
I
know,
flipped one
you get
time.
in. We get into them turning drags. You get some of them guys from Northeast Arkansas that want to do turning drags, which is almost like a barrel race.
yeah. yeah.
You know, and they're turning these boats at
Oh, my
35,
God.
40
You
mile
know,
an hour.
The Gen 2 will destroy that class.
Oh,
Will
the
it?
Gen
Will
2
turn.
is built for, dude, a
You could
Gen
put-
2 is built to be a barrel horse.
Dude, you could put that thing on 2 inches setback. That thing will fly. And it will.
Maybe we test this theory.
Oh, I
We
mean,
show
we've
them.
already
I'm telling
have.
you,
We
that
do it
thing
for a
will,
crowd.
I
It
mean,
This
will.
is-
the
this
Gen 2
is-
was built. The Gen 2, I had a customer this morning text me on Facebook about he's looking for a boat that turns hard. Well, all of the Havocs would turn hard. It just depends on how you set them up. Of course, if you got 15 inches of setback or 10 inches setback, it will not turn as hard. If you're drafting 3 foot of water because you want to float the nose in the river, it will not,
Right.
turn that hard.
Right.
But anyways, yeah, I told him 553 Gen 2. I mean, you put that motor 2 inches. Now it's not going to lift the bow to the nose. I mean, to the moon.
Right.
You know, but the functionality of the hunting boat,
like an actual
it's
functional
going to
hunting
be
boat, yeah.
first class because your bow won't be up high in the in the shallows. Your whole shot's gonna be quick. The top end might not be quite there,
Right.
but nobody can hang with you in the woods.
Right.
You know, and if you could draft level, that's the key. If you could draft a boat level going through shallow water, you're going to be advantage.
And
you
that's
know?
what the Gen 2, like, I mean, that's what
That's
it does.
what the Gen 2 is designed for.
That's one of my favorite things, looking at that boat when y'all first came out with it, and then, people first started seeing that was you moved where you put the motor on the transom
That's right.
forward. That way you put your 6 inches of setback on it, and you're still a lot closer.
That's
Mhm.
right.
I've
You're shifting the weight forward. And
Yes.
it makes a big difference in functionality of the boat.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Changes the ride.
And you have all the functions of like a breakaway. You have the adjustment of the jack plate, but then, say you put like 6-inch jack plate on there, you're only at 2 inches. So
Yeah.
your whole shot's there.
That's
You're
right.
able to
It makes a
turn.
huge difference.
You're one bump from, going down and hooking real hard to the left, making a turn in the woods. I mean, it's just super functional.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've seen guys in some of these older War Eagles and stuff try to make a hard right and slide right into a tree.
Yeah.
It's a little
You know what I mean?
hopping.
Well, there's a-
Boy.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, where you get the little side off.
Like riding a
You
horse.
see something, oh, shit.
Please catch.
You're like, here I come.
Yeah, that's bad. That's
Shit,
bad.
didn't make it.
That's bad. I think a lot of I could talk for days for setup because I love that shit. But
We spend so much time
Right.
you know
And that's- I mean,
testing and
the-
testing. And let me tell you something. There's a lot to it that we constantly were like, what the?
well we just get pissed off.
Why the hell
like,
did that work out like
like-
that?
It don't take.
we got to build something new because this ain't working.
Yeah.
And we kind of look at the problems. Like when I go duck hunting and I'm in a boat and my bow's up in the air, I'm trying to fix that problem. I said, this is bullshit.
But
I
then
can't
we
even
know.
see where I'm going.
You looking around the side of the boat.
Nobody gives a damn what I look like when it's 4 o'clock in the morning floating the nose.
They can't see you.
But
you
on
know?
the tail end of that, if we build something around not doing that, and then it doesn't float the nose like people want to see, then it's not.
You're
It's
gonna-
like a
you're gonna-
double-edged sword here.
You're going to catch some haters.
Yeah, it's okay
Yeah.
though. I mean, right?
Yeah,
Haters are
you're gonna
good.
Haters are good.
you're-
Oh, we will.
you're
Hey,
gonna
I mean,
have-
everybody
that
hates
that
on
kind of
us.
goes back
Yeah.
to like people have to
It's-
understand what model boat they're buying.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that's the thing that
Correct.
Havoc does best is there's so many different models. Then when guys go in there, like, what do you want to do? Are you gonna be just a sandbar person, or are you gonna be a duck hunter? You want something all around?
Right.
I think
Because
that's
there's
what they
a
miss out on. They go in there and be like, for it to be the time of year, like I want something to float the nose, and they be like, well, I should have bought this model so I can do everything.
Yeah, they don't ask that though. They just go for the price. That's why people buy the VJ.
That's
They want the
price.
VJ to do what we do. And,
Right.
In the
It's not
mod
going
40.
to.
In the mod 40 or
And they
DBST.
can. You just got to
Yeah.
change the setback.
It's a lot more
Yeah.
work. It's not out the box.
Oh,
It's-
Very
Right.
small changes make big differences.
They
Yeah.
do.
Yes.
They do.
Mhm. I started telling people 10-inch jack plate, 12-inch jack plate, put some Raptors on the back of it, whatever you got to do, but you got to get that weight back.
You know, and
Right.
people used to think you were crazy for going more than 6 inches. I'm not saying people who are very experienced, but a new boat owner, you tell them something like that, and adding that 3 inches might get the hop out of a boat that you don't think that it would work that way because you're pushing the motor further
That comes back
back.
to your
But
balance point.
yes,
Yeah.
Well, and things like shifting your motor up and down.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
you can move it up a half inch and it's going to change the way that prop bites.
All boats work the same. I mean, we have glass boats we fish out of too. We're sponsored by Glass Boats, and we got all this cool stuff. And even in the glass boat world, it's amazing how a fiberglass boat and aluminum boat relates to each
Oh,
other.
they are. Yeah.
The weight, counterbalance. I mean, I've had 6 inches, 10 inches, 14 inches all set back on my glass boat. And that sucker, I'm like, I cannot believe this shit's doing the same shit my boat's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
It's the same concept.
this
principle's
price
the
of
same.
this
It's
boat
the
is
same.
5 times higher than my aluminum boat, but I'm still dealing with the same problems I'm dealing
And he
with.
wants to put it on plug,
Yeah.
How do like everybody else?
I'm like, how do I get this 22-foot boat on the damn plug?
I'm like, dude, you got an aircraft carrier. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
yeah.
You can literally
I'm
land a
out.
jet on this.
He figured it out.
I look over at the beach guy and said, am I toting the nose yet? He goes, no, fuck, I need more setback. But,
We're out there on a sandbar with the bass boats, like
yeah. But,
changing props and stuff.
But 2 years ago we decided to get into glass boats just because we wanted to experience it and learn about it in order for us to build a better boat.
Right.
Because so much of it is the same. Water releasing off the hull, how efficient the boat is, hull shot, it's all the same. Only difference is you pay $80,000 for this boat
Yes.
and you pay $30,000 for this boat. It's amazing these
And-
guys are paying
And
$80,000.
it's people's mindsets.
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
is.
okay, they're like, people think fiberglass bass boats are on a much higher bracket than aluminum boats, right? But it's like, why? All right, so we had to test it for ourselves. Okay, so why is that? What about it is different? You know what I mean? To what degree? And we learned so much just from doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I ran my glass boat yesterday, and it's dragging the left side of the boat or the right side of the boat when I set her down. Water comes over the back of the deck. I'm like, what's causing that?
Right.
You know, so it doesn't matter if it's aluminum or fiberglass. And
Probably the size of the motor you got on it, son of a bitch.
no, it ain't. I need a 450.
He's got some ponies.
Yeah. But
Twin 450s.
but I think I think the excited part about teaming up with you guys is that we can actually get out there on the sandbars and try to educate some folks on what models are what and educate some people.
Especially the
yeah,
younger
100%.
crowd.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And,
that's-
first time boat owners are people who haven't owned a boat yet that are looking to buy their first
Yep.
boat.
You know,
Yeah.
it blows my mind too on the page. Like you get on Tiller Handle, people are like looking for a Chinese YBS.
Why do people do
like,
that?
Why? It's
it's
pretty much the same price now.
It goes back to you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Why
You
do
know
they
what I
do
mean?
that? Why do people settle for less?
No explanation.
I
for
mean,
that.
I don't have an
they know
explanation
what
for
they're
that.
doing.
What's-
And
what's-
then they want to call and ask, what are they doing wrong?
What's the price
Why
on
ain't my
YBS
boat running like y'all's?
on the gift shop right now?
I mean, I don't want to
I don't
call it.
know. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
cheap.
it's
a Chinese
It's
YBS
cheap.
Might know where
is
it's cheaper than
$350.
that.
So spend another $100 to get the real deal.
Yeah,
Right.
And you don't have to worry about busting the ear off your prop
Let
the
me
first
tell you, I
time you
seen
hit a
a-
rock or a log.
I seen a YBS, a true YBS, in the Doak Woods, cut a tree down. The guy fired his motor up and cut a tree down with it and run it. And it wasn't bent, wasn't tore up. It was dulled a little bit.
Right.
The difference in what you're paying for, boils down to quality.
What kind of tree was it? What kind of tree was it? Because everybody's going to want to know. We're going to get a lot of shit over this.
What kind of tree? I couldn't tell you. But
How big was this tree?
It wasn't probably 3 inches in
Okay.
diameter. It was
That's
a
still big
small
now.
sapling.
That's
not
big
even-
tree for a prop.
That's not even 3 inches. You can get slammed for that.
I'm serious.
Okay, all right.
Well, I mean, my 6 inches and your 6 inches may be different.
I'm just saying. You're gonna get hated on. I guarantee it. But
There's not a woman at the table, so I doubt it.
yeah, we can say whatever we want to say. Our wives aren't here.
That's right.
But yeah, I'm super stoked. So tell us a little bit about what we're going to do this year with the page and what you're going to do for customers. We're going to team up, give some gifts away.
We are. We've got some prizes in store. These events are to educate people.
Yeah.
For people to understand more about these setups and these props, about what models will best suit them in a Havoc. Not only that, but when they show up and see an encyclopedia of
Boat models.
Yeah, different
boat models, but just boat information.
Yeah,
And you look around, you see, man, all these top guys are running a Havoc boat.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's gonna be different brands there, and they're gonna be comparing.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. They're gonna want to compare. They're gonna hop in and ride.
And we'll have the Freedom motor down there too on the sandbars too for people
That's
to try that.
one thing I have realized is that it will be a long day before anybody can compare to y'all as far as how much R&D time y'all have put into this stuff with each various model.
Yeah.
It just there's no comparison on the market to that.
There's nobody that's done more testing than
No.
us.
No,
Nobody.
in any part of the boat industry.
I just wonder why the hell we
You know?
do it so much. That's crazy.
It's fun.
It's,
I guess
Well,
it's
half
fun.
of it-
I like tearing stuff up.
Well, I'll be honest with you.
It has to be fun. It has to be
It's
fun.
mostly self-inflicted.
Yeah.
Like we create our own problems
Right.
that we feel like we have to solve.
We just do the stupidest shit. We're like, you think this will work? I mean, it's a part of it, right?
Well, you're going to an extreme,
Yeah.
right? You're going to go to
That's
an
right.
extreme that somebody else is going to try to think up, because we all know people think up some pretty wild stuff on that
Yeah.
page.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But back to these events. I mean, getting educated, giving some free stuff away. I believe we're going to give a Havoc boat away, aren't we?
Yep.
At the end of the 4 events, we're going to give a Havoc boat away. Lots of prizes to win. There's going to be a poker run. There's going to be grudge races set up. And we're going to make these grudge races as simple as possible. I don't want people showing up thinking we've got a book of rules. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're going to have hunting class and a drag class. I'm sure there's going to be some 4-strokes. We may break it down, have some 4-stroke. There's also supposed to be some hot mud motors showing up. So I'm pretty excited, man. We've got some people that's supposed to be traveling a long ways to show up to some of these events.
It will be,
participate.
and
Yeah,
it'll
we
get bigger
coming.
as it goes too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's like the first one will go, and people see it, tell everybody, and then next thing you know, it's doubling,
They
tripling,
want in on it.
quadrupling.
Word of mouth.
Yeah,
You
Now the
know,
last one, it's gonna be flotilla all over again.
Flotilla.
Shutting down sandbars.
That's
Well,
right.
yeah.
Making
I mean,
sandbars great again.
we've shut down boat ramps before, hadn't we, Shockley?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've shut down boat ramps before. Biggest thing is people being able to bring their families, you know, and seeing the fun that can be had without all the partying. I feel like that's something that killed that flotilla for the
Oh,
party.
yeah. Dude, that's
You know what I mean?
100%.
No, it
yeah.
absolutely 100%
Yeah.
killed it.
So
The partying.
everybody stays civil and
Mhm.
no drama, nothing like that. I think we'll have a good turnout.
We will.
Oh yeah.
And like we were talking about too, this being something for the everyday person and not somebody that, has thousands of dollars in their pocket to go drag racing
Yeah,
or,
and that's kind of why we want to support it because, we did the boat races pretty hard. We grew it.
Oh yeah.
But, I think me and B Scott both realized that it was just a small crowd of people.
That, are,
Right.
that are either able or willing to put that much
Right.
into that. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
A lot of people are into sandbar hopping.
Yeah, sandbar hopping is a
You
lot more. I mean, if you look at what we sell every year, you could tell the Mod 40s is we could sell as many Mod 40s we want to, but really there's only a small group of guys that really need a Mod 40.
Yeah.
that's
You
right.
know, that's functional in the Duckwoods.
right.
If that makes sense.
No, it
Yeah.
does.
I mean, the Mod 40 is hard to beat on the water, but is it something we recommend in Duckwoods? I know guys that have used it and they're fine, but it's something I don't want to gamble with for 2,000 units.
Let me tell you, the
You
phone
know, you see what I'm saying?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Right.
the phone calls I've got because I've put the Mod 40s in the drag class.
Yeah.
Right. Because of the weight difference. I feel like if we're going to make this fair as possible, we should put Mod 40s in the drag class. But you know how many messages I've got saying, "Man, I hunt my Mod 40."
Yeah.
I'm
There's
like,
That's gonna come back to the motor
A
though.
lot
Right.
of people hunt the Mod 40. And you
they
can
do.
hunt the Mod 40. We just don't recommend it.
right.
Because mathematically, if you put out 2,000 units of Mod 40s, somebody's going to screw them up.
Yeah.
So, we keep them low. We don't ship a lot of Mod 40s out.
Right.
The guys that really put the time and money in the setup and, the motor, they get the Mod 40s.
Right.
See, so there's a difference, and you just, you take a Mod 40, then you go to the RDBST. That's the hunting version of the Mod 40.
Yes.
Right.
A little bit heavier.
That's what
100
you
gauge.
guys need.
Best of both
It's all
worlds.
around.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
you've got the steps on the back. The
Yeah.
functionality of it is
Right.
bar none.
Yeah.
And the same hole. So it's like, you got the performance there. It's a little heavier.
Right.
It's stronger. I-beam ribs. I mean, it can definitely withstand the force of hunting with it.
On the
Right.
top end, the RDBST will shine
It will.
Yeah.
because it's more stable. It's like a heavy bullet versus a light
Mhm.
bullet.
Right.
The whole shot between the two at 660, the Mod 40 is going to win, right? So there's a difference between the two models, different situation,
Right.
hunting and versus drag racing. So that's the main thing. And I see a lot of people on Facebook asking what the difference of the Mach 1 versus the Marsh Runner,
Right.
and the Mach 1, we built that boat, 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a long time ago.
It was my personal boat because I was a wussy. I didn't want to drive a 553.
So we built that boat, right? And then he goes down there. Well, he's like, well, I want speakers in my boat. I want trim package in my boat. I'm like, dude, they don't make a class for how much weight you got right now. Like,
He had the little box in there too.
yeah.
I had like 200 pounds of amps and speakers in that thing.
Oh my lord.
I'm like, dude, you're 200 pounds above the heaviest class.
Dude, that thing would vibrate. I mean, it would vibrate the lids.
But you look cool.
Dude, it was hitting hard.
Can I get a boat like that?
Yeah. Dude, I know you.
I'm coming in cruising.
Dude, it would vibrate the lids. It would bounce up every time it hit.
Could you flip a quarter?
And I lost.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
yeah, you lost.
No, I think I beat somebody. I think I beat somebody.
There's a shrimp boat there.
I beat a shrimp boat. They had like this big ass net poles on the back.
I'm pretty sure it had poles in the rod rack.
I smoked his ass. But I was hoping to just go to race B Scott, but they didn't match
No.
us up.
That would probably been a good race. I think B Scott probably beat you.
He would have been.
I definitely got him.
I would have screwed him on a light in a second.
Oh yeah.
I would have goosed him.
Treed him.
I don't care if I get DQ'd.
Put him on a tree.
I'm beating him. It doesn't matter. If you get DQ'd, it's just the picture at the end. It gets posted, right? It doesn't matter.
Supposedly.
It doesn't matter how you win, huh? So
Yeah.
that's the world we live in today, right? But it's all fun and games, I guess, at the end. But no, I'm super stoked about
I do too.
the Tiller page.
I think it's good for the community.
It
You know,
is.
the Tiller Handle community.
It is.
You
And
know,
I think it gets kind of people looking from the outside looking in. They see all the drama. They see all the people fighting and arguing, and they think, okay, this is not something I want to get involved in.
It looks toxic.
It
Yeah.
looks like it looks like a bad deal,
Right.
but that's not necessarily what it is. It's not what it was originally about. You know what I mean?
It wasn't. It was originally about getting people together and
Right.
and everybody sharing the same joy. Everybody liked to. I had a 25, right? I had the odd boat out. Every guy I run with had Havoc boats, did they not, Shockley?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, and I was the one edge with a 25 Yamaha. Everybody else
remember.
had Mercuries.
I think I remember that.
And I would race the Mercuries. But it wasn't because I thought I was going to win. It's because I was having fun doing it.
Yeah.
And that's what some of these guys need to realize is there's a lot of fun to be had.
Do you think it's a younger generation getting in that kind of like warped it over time, or do you think it's just? I mean, what's your take on it?
I mean, there was a lot of shit talking before, but it was just like it was real shit talking. Like today
Yeah.
is just
For fun.
internet shit talking.
It's just like troll.
It's a different kind of shit talking.
Yeah, it's like you
It-
don't even take it serious kind of shit.
Well,
talk.
no, I mean, there was times we had call-outs, and I mean,
Yeah.
and it was taken serious to a point where you showed up in your race or you got called out on the page.
Yeah,
You know.
I got called out on boat racing. I said Shockley or B Scott to that guy. And,
Yeah.
And he put on there he was going to bet me like $20,000. I'm like,
I
dude,
remember this.
if I showed up,
I remember this.
if I showed up with $20K cash, and we smoke your ass, you gonna pay me? No.
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 I mean, why would you even say that on here?
Like that's
I mean,
that's kind of crazy.
It is.
That's
And I
kinda
know-
crazy.
And I know that guy.
And we know you. Like,
I
we know
mean-
you don't have $20 cash.
What's? I mean, really? You're betting me? I was like,
Well,
there's a higher
it-
chance that I got $20K than you do,
That's yeah.
Well,
just because I'm maybe 45 years old. You know what I
Right.
mean, I've been building boats my whole life and working hard.
right.
Maybe I might have $20K.
Why would you want to bet 20K
Why
on a
would you
race
even?
anyway?
Why would you even say that?
I know.
I would say like
That's a big gamble.
It is. I mean,
$100 sounds better.
Yeah,
Are you sure you want to bet $20K on our strongest motor?
I mean, for 20K, you're going to bring
I
the
tell you
baddest
what.
unit you got.
I mean,
we'll spend $40K to make sure we don't lose 20.
Yes,
yeah. I mean, like,
I
there's
mean,
probably $20K in our motor.
Well,
Yeah.
let's
I
think
mean-
about this. I've got pictures and videos of the fastest motor around against a Havoc. It was versus a Mirage 3 and a 300
You-
drag motor
Yeah.
and 660 foot. That Havoc won.
You know what's even crazier?
Mm.
Yeah, he did win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian Justin won.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something that's crazier about the $20K bet. I would have gave somebody $10,000. Say, hey, who has the baddest freaking motor on this planet? Here's $10K. Come down here and race this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, random guy.
This kid is outmatched.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is just ridiculous. I got on there and said, there's no way I would take this bet.
And we talk all the time about it. I'm like,
Yeah,
listen,
this is
you can't take it
ridiculous.
serious.
Well,
like,
if you go
some of
win,
the stuff
if you
is
beat
just
the guy and take his
trolling.
money, you're gonna
Yeah.
be the bad person.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Yes.
you lose, you're still the bad person.
lose-lose.
There's no
winning.
wins. There's no wins.
They're like you take it too serious if you show up and
it's,
beat them.
it's like fighting an old guy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
one, it's
You
bad
either-
if you lose. You got your ass kicked by an old guy.
With
or two,
glasses.
you kicked the old guy's ass.
There's no win. there.
lose-lose.
No, it's a lose-lose for us. If we went out there and drug his ass, we'd been hated all over Facebook. They'd hate us forever.
Yeah, and he probably wouldn't have showed up with the money, but guaranteed if you won, he would have run you into the mud had you not paid him every dollar.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
he wouldn't
Yeah.
have won.
I get no. He
No,
wouldn't.
no,
wouldn't
no,
have
no, no, no.
He wouldn't have won.
For 20K, dude. No,
Yeah,
way.
I'm not betting 20K.
No. Nah, I wouldn't bet.
Your
you.
motor might blow up halfway through. The
Yeah,
race.
Shockley, we've been there.
Yeah.
You know, we've had it, wiped out, and all of a sudden, boom, you're like, oh,
Yep.
not good.
Everybody.
It probably run the
everybody
best it
does.
ever did.
Yeah.
3 runs before that too.
Oh
didn't
no, yeah, it was
It was
peak.
running
I'm like,
good.
man, this thing's loose and fast.
I
Yeah.
don't know nobody in the racing world that happened to.
Oh,
These guys lost. Remember,
Nick West.
it was a
Yeah.
couple of years ago. All of our top 4 boats broke down.
In one race.
The year before, yeah. It was B Scott broke down, Josh broke down. Did you break down?
I broke down.
Yeah, you broke down.
Dick West broke down.
Yeah. No, he
No.
won.
He won it.
He won, yeah.
We all broke down.
Yeah, he won it. Yeah,
Man,
yeah, he was in another
everybody's breaking
brand
down
of
at
boat.
once.
Now,
They sure was.
Yeah, he was in another brand of
That
boats.
is when that was.
That's when they won. Yes, sir. That's when they won.
but
Dick West.
But it is what it is. We don't want to bring that up. But
He grew up. Though. He came
but,
to the Republican side.
But anyways,
Yeah.
well, I mean, he knew the truth. I called the results before the gas station.
now
Before.
that is true. That's
Yeah.
something nobody knows.
I've heard that story.
Yeah,
Nobody
no.
knows that, really.
We told him what was going to happen if he won and what was going to happen if he lost, and word for word is what happened.
Yeah.
And that's when he swapped.
Yep.
You know, you judge people. You know what I'm saying? You judge people. You know who you're dealing with.
Right.
But you know, we could talk forever. I feel like we could just bullshit. You know, but back to the Arkansas Tiller page. You know what you guys are trying to do for Arkansas Tiller page. You talked about bringing people together, but we're going to do a decoy.
We're going to do a decoy drop.
Yes.
Yeah, now that's
Right,
going to be
so-
cool. Tell us about the decoy drop.
So the decoy drop, we're going to have a dozen decoys.
Right.
Right. And we're going to drop them all over the state at various locations. We're going to have a pin drop for each decoy. Right. Each decoy is going to represent a different prize.
Right.
You're not going to know what that prize is till you find the decoy. To get into this though, you're going to pay just like a raffle. You're going to pay X amount of dollars to get in on the site. Once you get in on the site at a certain time, them GPS coordinates will be dropped. You'll get on there and find them. If you find that decoy, you let us know.
How you gonna get people from not sharing the GPS coordinates to other people?
That's a real good question.
That's the problem I thought about. You know, like that could be a problem.
It could be.
So what if they start like sharing, getting multiple people looking for the decoy?
That's a good question. So we've got to have a way to.
I think they're going. I think you're going to have to do it like people's going to have to come together in one location. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would do
like
it. We did a decoy
we did an
drop.
event like that one time.
It was
yeah.
how many years ago? It was like 15.
I was probably like 8.
Yeah, but we went to back then it was called a mud fest, and we would go to these mud fests and we'd run our mud boats. But they had a decoy drop, and everybody there got coordinates. But everybody there got the coordinates. It wasn't like
So
we didn't have Facebook back then like we do
Right.
now.
So maybe we get
Damn,
everybody
we're
to
old.
meet up in one location.
Maybe I don't know.
Or
We,
you get your
or-
coordinates
we need
like
to think
that.
about that.
Only let so many people in, and when everybody's in, drop them all at one time.
Or whatever town you're gonna do the first event in or one of the events in. You know, everybody's in town like the night before, whatever. Have it there, that time.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to get your chance at winning the Havoc boat, you have to show up. That's the only way you can buy your chance, and you have to show up to all 4 events.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, I got you.
So you pay $25 to get your raffle ticket at event 1. You pay your $25 at event 2, event 3, and event 4.
Yeah.
At event 4, you turn them 4 tickets in to me, and you get your draw ticket. You fill that draw ticket out. You hand it to me. That means you got to be present to win.
And I think we should do a Mach 1 giveaway.
Okay.
Maybe we should
That
go-
would be cool.
Then we do get Mach 1, then we'll get maybe we'll get somebody to pick up the motor for us, and you see that, guys, contact us if you guys want to pimp the boat out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
But you know, we could pimp the boat out, trailer,
That would be
Right.
cool.
maybe a 4-stroke motor.
Right.
You know, since it hauls ass with a 4-stroke. Did y'all see that video?
Oh, I have.
Man.
I have seen that video.
You see how clean that boat was?
Yes.
I did.
You see it releasing the water off the back? It wasn't
Oh,
riding
yeah.
a wave of water.
No, it didn't have a
I'm
push
sorry,
of water.
sorry,
and
I had to
wave of
go
water.
there. Did you see how clean the boat ran, though? How
It
efficient
did,
that boat
man.
ran?
It looked good.
That boat was running over 50 miles an hour.
Oh wow.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. It would
With
be
a not,
nice.
I mean,
with a
I
not
believe it,
so
but-
hot Merc.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
No, it's
hot.
4-stroke.
It was
Oh, you're
4-stroke.
talking 4-stroke.
Yeah, it was
okay,
4-stroke.
okay,
No, it was a
Now
4-stroke.
it's nasty with a 2-stroke too.
Yeah, I think
It's
so.
nasty
The
with
one
a
we
2-stroke.
tested with.
That for top end speed, that boat would run probably faster than 80% of the nose floaters on the internet.
Oh yes.
Oh, I know it would.
And it's a 4-stroke, guys.
I mean, so back to floating the nose.
I don't want to
mean-
get started on floating the nose. man.
Floating the nose.
I mean,
like,
we even built a shirt called the Nose Floaters.
no, it was like floating the nose of the bros.
Oh yeah, that's
That's what the shirt said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Floating the nose with the bros.
But I get you.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say about the nose floaters?
If you're floating the nose so high you can't see around the bow, you're not doing nothing great.
I seen
You're
a
doing it
video
for
the other day.
show,
I seen the
you
video
know?
the other day on TikTok. He showed the video of the boat going by. Then it showed him his view. In
Yeah.
his view, he
I
could see
seen
a
that.
damn
Look,
thing.
looking at his feet.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's
not safe.
Stupid.
No.
It is. I mean, it is stupid.
I
It's not
absolutely
safe.
can't see
Yeah.
over the boat.
You're literally gonna kill somebody.
yeah,
no
I mean,
shit.
I can't believe it
run
hasn't.
them over.
It,
You know, 'cause you
it
can't
may
see 'em.
have, but I can't believe it hasn't happened.
Look, listen, guys.
It's coming.
The
Two
biggest-
nose floaters got tied up together halfway in the middle
One's
of the
coming
river.
this way, one's
Yeah,
coming that way.
I mean,
Hey,
I can see the headlines. Like, I mean, come on now.
I have the same problem on a bass boat. I have a 22-inch screen, a 16-inch screen, and a 12-inch screen. I can't see over the bow.
Totally different.
And the guy bets me
Different
$20,000.
Different scenario.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the biggest problem. I just
Right.
can't see over. Bass boats have the same problem. Have you seen all the bass boats nowadays?
Oh yeah.
They have all these screens up front.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I got like 75 inches of screen on my boat.
No,
75
he's
inches.
got
I
a
don't
lot of
know. It's a
screen.
He's
lot.
not joking.
It's a
No,
lot.
he's got. I don't know if 75 is accurate, but
It
I
might
know
be more
there's
than
3 in the
75.
front and 3 in the back.
It might be more.
I don't know. Let's
22
not,
and 16 is
all right,
38.
Well, let's not count it up.
38 and 12. There's 50.
Yeah, it's a lot. Darryl, what are you talking about? You got a lot of screen in your
What is
boat,
that? Just
too.
the front? 50 in the front?
There's 52 in the front. Do the same thing in the back. He's at 100 inches.
He got more inches. He got more inches of screen on his boat than I got in my house.
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about my house. Watch TV in my house.
Yeah,
I
who
want to watch
cares?
TV on my boat. You know,
Watch
seeing
them fish swim
seeing
by.
those fish.
I mean, I
yeah.
got 7-inch screen too, so I mean, I'm not.
Hey,
Yeah,
we,
we
I'm not bashing it.
hey,
Yeah.
Hey, we caught 80 pounds of bass yesterday.
Yeah, that's what Daryl was telling
Yeah,
me.
we're not going to tell where we went though.
No.
But we did catch a lot of fish.
You want to drop
yesterday.
me a pin?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
maybe.
Daryl, you caught a 9.6.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
caught a 8.6.
Now, why do we
you
have
caught
to
a
do-
7.
Why do we have to bring that shit up?
Well, if I would have
Is
caught
it
the 7,
funny?
I wouldn't have brought
Now
it
listen,
up.
if he would have caught the 7, he wouldn't have brought it up.
Yeah.
But anyways, get back to my point. Bass boats have the same problem. You can't see over the bow.
Right.
I mean, I had a double, then one on top, triple stack, whatever they call it, and I couldn't see over the bow. It made me nervous. So we came back to the boat plant. We built us a mount that would stack them, but tuck them in there where I could see over my bow and see to the right side of my boat because I was afraid I was going to run somebody over.
Right.
So I can't imagine you get.
Especially,
I don't know.
especially like in a river where
You
you
get
see him
40,
running.
you get 40,
Well,
50
and they're
fish
So
on
all
the
how do
river.
you know, like, when
Yeah.
a
Right.
log's
Yes,
there?
that
Because,
was
like, it's real low
exactly.
to the water, you know? You
We're
might
going
just
to get some
barely see it
serious hate
floating.
over this, by the way.
Oh, it'll be okay.
And we
What's-
love
what's
every
new?
each one of you.
That's me every day on social media.
Yeah.
That's like Cat Williams said, if you don't have some haters, you're doing something wrong.
Hey, we're going to get some serious haters. Like,
They're
it's
coming.
going to be
Well,
like,
look,
it's going to be a
Just come see
popcorn
us at the
night.
sandbars.
It's going to be a popcorn night.
I invite all the haters to come
Yeah,
get
come
some
out here.
education.
And if you come to all 4, you got a chance to win in a Havoc.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Hate all you want.
What's
That's it.
We'll still give you a Havoc.
Is everybody's coming like, but you guys, they all know we'll help them with any boat.
That's
Like,
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's the
absolutely.
difference because
It-
I've seen it so many times up here where like people will be messaging Tim and they'll be like, "Well, it'll be an edge up here." He's up here helping them set that.
We got one here now.
Yeah, we got an
exactly.
edge right now.
So like,
Like,
So
This would be good for
that's a big. What I think it needs to be out there more is y'all's customer service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
It's,
know,
it's bar none to any other
dude,
boat
couple-
brand. I don't care what size, fiberglass, metal. The customer service is bar none.
yeah. I mean, we just love it, man. And we had a guy a couple weeks ago. He owns an ambush, and he texts me. He says, "Man, ambush is closed down, but I know you're the man to talk to. Even though he has an ambush, I still helped him out.
Right.
His boat ran bad. Boat ran bad. And Jimmy's a super good dude. I know Jimmy. Me and Jimmy's talked a lot of times. We used to checkmate each other.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I got a customer. Hey, got a customer. You know.
Right.
But he's a super good dude. And I just called him up, and we got the customer taken care of. And that's what's important: taking care of people.
Right.
And one day that guy will remember that.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
And so that's what's important to me: is take care of people.
And that's another reason for these events. It don't matter your boat brand, what motor you run, who built your motor. It doesn't matter. Y'all show up and if you need help, ask for it.
Yeah.
I average about 3 to 4
I mean,
messages on
Shockley,
Facebook every night. helping
Shockley, wasn't you an
somebody.
ambush guy?
I was an ambush guy.
Ain't that how many you got together?
It is.
Yeah, told you. That's the true fact.
It
He
is.
he owned an ambush and he needed some help with it, and I helped him out. Now he works. He works here,
Right.
but we're good friends.
Right.
And seriously, probably one of my 3 a.m. friends. So it is what it is. But ambush did that.
Right.
So
And I still talk to Jimmy every week.
yeah, I talked to Jimmy
All
too.
the time.
I mean, I talked to
Good
Jimmy
dude.
too. Jimmy's a good guy, for sure.
Yeah, and that's something about these sandbar events. We want to bring everybody together, and you get such a wealth of knowledge from all these people being there that you know they're never all in one place like what we're trying to achieve here. And then there ought to not be a question out there that can't be answered by at least one or multiple people there.
And it's going to have a little bit of drama there. Because people
by nature.
People want this.
Just by nature.
Yeah, people want this boat brand war thing to exist.
I mean, man, that page, it Shockley probably remembers. We used to have a deal called "As the Prop Turns."
Yeah.
Right? It was almost what episode of drama we're going to have.
It
this
was
week
mainly
on As the
focused
Prop
around
Turns.
us.
It was a lot of times.
For sure.
I mean,
for sure. The Tiller page did a lot of stuff for us.
It did,
but it was mainly focused around us and our race team.
Yeah.
I remember. I drank a lot of whiskey that time.
Nice.
Yeah. Back in the day, Tiller page wasn't too friendly, to us. But it's came around, and I think people's getting more educated who we are. And I think this podcast has helped a lot too.
No, I think it has.
Because we're just normal people.
Right.
I don't know what the hell they thought we were, but we were just normal.
Well, I mean, there's so many misconceptions there. You hear all the bad stuff, but nobody ever says the good things y'all done. You helped this man set up his boat, and another guy set up the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You hear one side of the story, and you take it for face value versus, the smart thing to do would be to come to you and ask you, what's your take on that story?
That's just like, people like tear their boat up. You give them a new boat.
Yeah.
And they'll put on Facebook they tore the boat up, but they don't tell the other side of it. I got a new boat. I got a new boat.
You also hit a rock down.
Yeah. It's probably insurance claim, but
And here recently one was a different brand, but it was your brand when you had Edge, and
we took care of
him, and you left with a Havoc.
I don't remember specifics on it, but I do remember maybe it was last year a guy got on the page and was really just bashing you, man, and he did not buy the boat from y'all. This was like a secondhand thing that he bought a used boat and just trashed that thing. And at the end of the day, y'all still, after him, bad mouthing the whole company, stood behind that and fixed that boat.
I always tell people, man, is that you're the one laying your head on that pillow at night, not me. I'm doing what's right. And, and a lot of people will understand that, and you start talking to them. I said, look, you could throw stones if you want to, but you're the one sleeping on it, not me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing what's right.
Yeah.
Right.
And no matter what it costs me, no matter what I want to do right by people. That's the way I want to be treated. And a lot of people have a lot of problems with that. Like, they don't expect that. They always expect, like, hey, they're going to rip me off, or they're trying to take my money.
Well, they try lying.
Right.
If they did something, broke something, they start with lying.
Yeah.
And it's like, listen, we've seen a lot of issues. We've seen a lot of, we understand kind of what it takes to do this to a boat. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, if you just tell me the truth, we're going to stand behind it, regardless what you say. So.
And that comes back to R&D.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It
All
does.
the R&D.
It's
and
having
where your faults are.
Well, it's having confidence. And you take Brian Jess and Shockley, you take all these guys, Daryl, you take all these people that run our boats year round. And they're, when we tell them, tear the boat up, tell me where we're screwing up at.
Right.
When they don't have no fear, when they have the confidence of the manufacturer behind them, then they're really going to give you an honest results.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How many times have I asked you, are you sure you want me to test this boat where I hunt?
Yes.
I tear it's rough where I
I'm
hunt.
like, Shockley, I gotta know.
That son of a
I was like, we have to know if it's going to dent right there or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's like how Q-Tip wanted to have it after he went hunting with me, because he was like, dude, you don't care. I'm like, I'm going to find out. I see trees like this.
Well, the thing is,
You have to find
I
out.
do
That's what's the problem. How can you take somebody's money? How can you take somebody's money not knowing?
Yeah.
I do
How can you do that?
I do text you, like, I had an MSTC. He's like, dude, I did it on the first day. I just ran over a little bitty cypress knee. I'm like, okay,
No
right.
shot. No
No, you
shot.
didn't.
Yeah, right.
No, you didn't.
Like, how do you really know? Just think about this. How can you really take somebody's money not knowing what your product is made of
Or what it's capable
or
of.
what it's capable of?
You know what I mean?
Or how do you take somebody's money where you don't have enough confidence in your product that you can offer a warranty like we do?
Right.
I mean, you gotta have some balls.
And there's nobody on Facebook that can say they don't have Tim Scott's phone number.
No, it's all over my page.
But
you can go in there and type Tim Scott and
but
find
that's
his
one
number
thing.
15
They
different
can
posts.
get a hold of it.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that we have confidence in, and that's why we enjoy teaming up with you guys, because we want people to know, like, hey, we do this for a living. This is our passion. This is what we do. This is not like we don't come to work to work. We come to work to enjoy our passion and what we do. And
Right.
we're giving you guys something that's badass.
Right.
And I think the Arkansas Tiller page can help us achieve that, because we went down the sanctioned boat racing, and it really did not do nothing for us.
No.
So
I mean,
it's such a small crowd.
Yes.
Everybody
It's not
wants
the
something
everyday
there.
guy
Right.
like y'all
I
mentioned
mean-
earlier. How can we help the most people with what we do? Well, this is a no-brainer.
So I'll tell you,
It's the everyday guy.
when me and Tim were talking, he said, "Are you wanting to race?" No, man, my racing days are done.
Mhm.
If I can show the everyday guy that's got a family, he hunts, he fishes, why he should have it more so rather than racing.
Right.
That, like you said, that crowd's very small.
It's a very small crowd. I mean,
But do you have your everyday sandbar guy that might want to get out and have some sandbar fun? Yeah.
There's a bunch of them.
There's
is.
more sandbar racers than there'll ever be at Pineville.
Yeah, that's what. B. Scott, how many
Racing at that
miles?
level.
How many miles have we driven to race these same people
Yes.
over and
Right.
over?
Yeah, we show up
and
like,
over?
welcome back.
No,
So
right.
you got all these people say, "Oh, we're showing up to the next one. We're gonna come to the next one." They don't show up.
Right. And man, how many times have we had 100, 130, 140 boats show up just for some fun? No
Yeah.
money involved. Don't cost you nothing to get in.
no, you go to sandbar, you drink a little beer, have a good
Yeah.
time.
And you don't
Right.
have to drink beer. You don't have to. You can take your family out there.
I'm taking my family.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm
It's-
taking
Bring
my
a sober
kids.
driver.
It's a
you know?
different,
Wow.
Yeah.
that's right.
I didn't mean anybody to get drunk.
No. That's just a
I'm not
disclaimer
bringing
there.
the fireball, guys. I mean,
I'm just saying. I'm just making the point you could.
if I bring my family, I'm still drinking the beer.
Yes.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
I am too.
Same
I'm
here.
just saying.
Responsibly.
That's
God, you
what,
made-
and that's what
Right.
the racing got too. It just got more fun to go down to Morro Bay and race on the sandbars. And it's
Right.
good to drive
And
to
relax
Bible
and just,
relax
yeah.
and chill.
Man.
No drama.
Cause
Yeah,
man,
you
you
call people
know-
out. You can be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
come on, let's go. Me
Yeah.
and you.
Hey.
Why not?"
Some of them boats that talk all that smack on the internet won't.
They won't show up.
They won't back it up.
No.
They
They
won't back
show
up.
up. They just won't pull their boat off the sandbar.
Well, look at the hole
Yeah.
runner, for example. So many people talk trash about, I'm going. And the last 2 years that, we were doing that thing, there was minimal people that showed up. Frank
I had
West built
a-
that motor, and the guy wasn't even there that won it.
Right. Right.
Well, I mean, people want stuff.
Yeah.
They want stuff. I mean, we get it. But we're trying to educate people, though.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're trying to educate people with stuff.
And like
Right.
like Hubbell stated, this is free. We're not charging
Yeah.
anybody anything to come
Yeah.
out here. Whether you want to put in your money to try to win that boat or a prize or play poker, whatever. This is
Or
going
if
to
you
be
just need help setting your boat up.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
You know
going to
what I
be,
mean?
I'm sure
Yeah.
there'll be every model y'all have. So people who have never owned a boat, that is perfect opportunity for them to come down there and take a ride in the boat of their choosing and see how that boat handles.
And it helps to achieve customer service. I mean, more boats we sell, better customer service we can
Yeah.
provide. It costs money.
Right.
If you take all the money we spend on customer service, I mean,
I wish,
you could be more strict about it, maybe like most companies are, and maybe put some of that money in your pocket. But
Man, I was shocked when
we just want to give back and do what's right. A lot of companies just they don't do that.
they sell the boat and it's done
Yeah,
deal. It's
they
on
don't
you
do-
after
yeah,
that.
They don't do that.
Yeah.
You can get off
even-
of them.
Yeah.
I like it how these companies like this is for all you boat manufacturers out there like
Here
to
we
do this
go.
shit. No. I like when manufacturers say, "Oh, we're not gonna warrant that because you got too much setback on your boat."
Dude, a true testament to that and was something
What
that
kind
was
of bullshit's that?
yeah.
Like,
Right.
if your trans is not strong enough for 15 inches of setback, then you need to redesign your boat.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
correct.
you need to design your boat for the worst situation, not the
Yes.
best.
yeah.
Something that was really
You know?
shocked me was when me and Hubbell came and took a tour of the plant, and we seen your boat graveyard back there, and
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
just warranty stuff.
People
If
don't
something
get it.
breaks and it's
No,
not
they
supposed to
don't.
be
They
that
don't
way.
get it.
They don't see that side of Havoc.
And a
Right.
lot of that stuff is just, man, I replaced a boat one time. Well, I ain't gonna say because you're gonna have 50 people out there doing the same shit. But shouldn't have replaced it.
Yeah.
But some people take advantage of it. Some people use it as an insurance policy, and I tell them I call them out on it pretty quick.
Right.
You know, I say, you can tell me the truth, you can sit here and lie to me, but the more you lie to me, the more you convince me that I'm in your insurance policy.
Right.
You know, so you got to be honest with people, you know, but getting back to it, you know, this is what we do. We enjoy it, and we want to educate people, and we do need to do better to educate people. We do build so many different models.
Right.
Like, when do you need an MSTC? When do you need a VJ? What's the
just
purpose?
really break it down.
What's
you know?
the purpose of VJ, a VJ? We hunt out of a VJ STC. The reason why we hunt out of it, we bow hunt, deer hunt, because we carry a lot of gear, and we want a light boat.
Mm-hmm.
It's open.
And it's open. It's wide open. No gun trays, nothing. It's just wide open. It's super light. If we get blood in the boat, we can wash it out. So there's a lot of different reasons why we run that model.
Right.
The DBSTs, that's the workhorse of all boats. I mean, that's just going to get the job done in flooded timber. You can beat the shit out of it. It's set up for an outboard, not an MSTC, you know.
Right.
Then you got your RDBSTs. That's guys that wants the little 2-stroke performance motors. Then you got the Mod 40s.
Right.
Then you got the big stuff. So, I mean, there's boats for everybody.
Yeah, and for every application.
That's right.
You know,
That's
there's
right.
a model for every application that
That's right.
you can think of.
Yep.
I
I got a guy right now we got his boat. He has a 1553 RDBSTC with a 74-stroke Yamaha on it, and it's loaded down with the gills.
Yeah.
It has the heaviest trolling motor in the market. Has a built-in gas tank in the front of the boat. Rod box. I mean, it is the heaviest 553 I've ever seen in my life.
It's loaded down.
Okay, that's like if an elephant had deer hooves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it just won't work. It's some bitch ain't gonna go through no sand.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's gonna get buried up. And you know, that's the problem. People just don't understand. Like, you can take an 1860 with a 60 horse, or you put a 553 with a 60 horse, and you're not gonna lose that much speed. You know what I mean? My mic off.
No, you're good.
But you know, so it makes a huge difference on what model you pick. So maybe you guys can help us with that.
Oh, we're going to.
We're excited for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I think
It's
this
gonna be a good
partnership's
time.
going to be really good
It's-
for
it's-
everybody.
It will be good for everybody. And, you know, and like I said, it don't matter what boat brand you got, who built your motor. I mean, show up and just have a good time. See why the top guys that's got all the information are running Havoc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, there's more than just a boat.
Yeah.
There
And I
really
think it's
is.
going to be a good time.
And they can run other brands too. They just need to know, you know.
Education.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, just,
Absolutely.
and it gets you guys back out there what you guys enjoy, you know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Are you guys ready for this?
Oh,
Man.
I'm more than ready.
I think
I'm
we've-
pumped for it.
We probably had nights we lost sleep over just thinking about, you know, how far we could take this thing
Yeah.
and, you know, what we want to build it up to.
Well, your page has done a good job.
It is.
I mean, it's done a good job. There's a lot of people in there.
We've cleaned it up a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
a
over the
lot of
last
different
several months.
personalities.
A lot of different personalities.
Yeah.
A lot of different personalities. And it's one of a kind. Man, never did I think when I started that page that I would end up, you know, in it being what it is today.
Why do you still do it? I mean, you just like
Man,
to
I
be involved
enjoy
in
it.
boats and
The love
I've
of it.
always enjoyed it. I enjoy boats. I enjoy
Mm-hmm.
the boat life. I mean, it's the people that's wrapped around it. It's a lot of fun.
There's a
And
lot of good people out there. Even the people that talk on the internet, you just meet them in person. They're really cool people.
They are.
It's just the internet does something to people.
Yeah, I'm sure a bunch of people think I'm an asshole.
I see. I think you're a good person.
I think you're an asshole.
Daryl, what do you think?
Well, here for
Yeah, he definitely on the internet. He'll piss you off.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way.
He will have you in your feelings so
There's
fast.
no way.
He will
Shockley will
have
be
you in
there.
your
If y'all want to
feelings.
meet Shockley in person, you got to hit one of his
Yeah,
sandbars
Shockley
up.
will be at sandbars for sure.
Shockley has that personality that he doesn't stop. Like, he just keeps pushing the button.
Oh, yeah.
Do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy that?
Yes.
Why do you
If I
enjoy it?
know, once I know I got under your skin,
He's going to keep
you're
hammering.
done.
Why do you enjoy it so much?
I don't know. I'm an asshole.
Really?
Not really.
I mean,
No,
you
you're really the nicest guy ever, dude.
He's
He
so
is.
nice.
But on the
is a
internet,
nice
dude, he'll
guy.
piss you off quick.
A known feather ruffler.
Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, do you,
I used to be way worse on that page.
do you wake up every morning, first thing you do, look at the Tiller page?
I used to.
I did too, man. I spent hours and hours and hours on that Tiller page. I wouldn't watch shows.
Yeah.
I would spend hours. And I mean, we've had some posts that's 1,000, 1,200 comment posts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
get your popcorn because there's going to be some good stuff to read in that. I promise you.
My wife's on that page now. And it wasn't long, a couple of weeks ago, she said, I'm going to have to delete this page. These people piss me off.
Yeah. And you learn to take it with a grain of salt, you know? You do.
Some
you
of
learn
these guys are just young people.
And that's another reason for these events.
Yeah.
These young guys, I think, need to understand that, that there's not a whole lot of seriousness with some of the old heads.
There's some talent people, some smart people on that page. I mean, even some of these boat racers, these 45, 50-year-old boat racers.
Man, there's
like Mike Allison.
Josh
Westbrook
on there.
You got Mitch Hardy on there. Y'all know who Mitch Hardy is?
Yeah, Mitch Hardy.
He's an older gentleman from South Carolina that was doing this when we were all
there's a lot of
shitting diapers.
There's a lot of people, a lot of good talent on that page.
Ain't Ron Hill on that page?
Yeah.
And hopefully we just bring it all together in person because,
Ron Hill has sponsored the Hole Runner several times with props.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ron Hill keeps up with the page.
Oh, yeah.
Man, there's some big names on that page.
Yeah,
really.
there is. I don't think people realize that.
They don't. They don't realize it, and
there's a bunch of game wardens on it too. In case y'all don't know that.
Oh yeah, and you can't filter the game wardens. Austin Booth himself, when he was director, he was on that page.
Yeah.
Oh really?
He was. He come to me wanting to use that page for AGFC feedback.
Oh my God.
And he got tore up.
Oh man,
they were ruthless to that guy. They showed no mercy.
No mercy, no. And I told him that beforehand when we talked. I said, man, you're welcome to use that page, but I think you're asking for it.
Yeah.
Them guys are.
So
ruthless.
he just walked up in there and said, "Hey, I'm such.
Well, he sent me. So he sent me a message.
Give him some cookies or something. Or
Well,
I don't think you got any damn cookies.
Frank West will give him a cookie.
He sent me a private message.
He's in denial.
Yeah, he sent me a private message several times. Was like, man, what's it gonna take to be a part of the page? And I was like, well, you can't use the page for incriminating evidence for one.
Yeah.
They'll try.
They will, and so that was agreed upon. So, man, I just want to use your page for duck hunter feedback. I'm like, well, I mean, you can, man, but they're ruthless on there.
There's also a page called Arkansas Duck Hunters.
Right.
He can go there.
Right. Right.
I don't know. They're ruthless on that page too.
They are.
It's the same people.
Anything with duck hunts is pretty ruthless.
It is.
A lot of the same people.
That duck hunt's tough, boy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. It's not like it used to be.
Is it getting worse?
I feel like it is. I feel like it's getting worse. And I feel like that's why these events are important, man. Just educate these. Man, there's no sportsmanship no more.
Everybody hates each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until they're in person.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole other story.
Oh, man, just like he said, that's what these events are for.
Yeah.
It's to get to know one another.
I think Havoc can help with that.
I agree.
The
atmosphere that not just Havoc brings, but the atmosphere of that sandbar. Man, all the years that we run them events, I never remember one fight happening.
No.
I never remember.
I've never seen a fight on one.
No, I ain't either. I've seen more at boat races.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen, I've seen more guys show up and enjoy themselves and get a plethora of information, try props. And there's the right guys there to give you the right information.
Oh, yeah. There'll be some.
That's what's going to be so great about it.
Kings will be there.
Yeah, 100%.
Westbrook.
Westbrook, I talked to Cuz yesterday. I believe. Yeah, right. Westbrook will be there.
Cuz will be there.
Cuz will be there.
Well, Cuz is going to be there. He's all about sandbars.
I talked to him yesterday.
Yeah.
He called me yesterday and was wanting to low down on what the dynamics were going to be.
He called me and I was fishing.
He told me.
I forget to call him back.
He said, boy, Tim and them are hard to get a hold of when they're fishing.
Nah, boy, we fishing. We ripping.
Well, he's hard to get a hold of when he's duck hunting.
Well,
yeah, that's right, Cuz.
So, I mean, touche.
Hey,
checkmate.
That's a valid point.
There's like 10 months out of the year, Cuz, you hard to get a hold of because you hunt and fish and everything.
Right.
Trout fish, he duck hunts,
Turkey hunts.
Man.
Now he deer hunts. Like, I don't even know when he has time to hunt. Work.
That's turkey hunting's it for me. It's if I could hunt those as much as you could hunt ducks or deer, I'd
too.
probably
I
give it
agree.
all
I'm
up
right there with
just for the
I agree.
turkeys. And that's something you won't ever
I
understand
don't know,
until
man. I like ripping lips. Bass
That's a good
fishing
time.
right now is tough, boy.
Ripping lips is fun, man. Just it don't get no better than
When the turkeys are doing it right.
Boy,
Dude,
I
it
think,
keeps
I
you
think
on-
maybe all the walking, and mosquitoes, and sweating, and the rain, and the hot, and the
You
cold.
have to go to
and-
other states. That's
Yes.
Arkansas.
Maybe that's what it is.
yeah, you're just hunting Arkansas, buddy.
I like killing them in Arkansas.
The turkeys
Right.
is fun, but I'm telling you, it's better than turkey hunting elk hunting.
Well, it's like turkey
made.
hunting. It's like turkey hunting
hunting.
on steroids.
Yeah, it's way better. If I could pick one,
I've never
That's-
been.
I've not been. Now, I spent some time in Colorado, and I seen some big elk, but
it's if you love turkey hunting, just elk hunting's a whole nother game.
Elk hunting's fun.
When we
It's
went out,
screaming in your face.
But
When
I like to do all of it.
Yeah.
That's
That's
the
my
problem.
problem. Yeah,
That's my problem.
right.
And we're always looking forward to the next thing.
Right.
Yes.
Hey, that's
You know,
Guz's problem.
You
too.
can't
never be
appreciate
great
what
at any of
season it is. You're
Right.
like, well, turkey season's coming.
and it's
so-
like this season goes out, and the next
Yeah.
one comes right in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Like you got hunting season, fishing season, hunting season, fishing season,
Right.
never stop.
and we can make up seasons.
yeah.
I mean, it don't matter what it is. We can,
Sandbar
hey,
season.
it's time to feed the deer.
With it's tractor season.
Yeah, it's tractor season. You know, we can make all kinds of seasons up.
That's it, man.
Yeah, with a hardcore hunter too, I'd say the true test on a relationship is that first year in it, and they realize, they think, oh, duck season's 60 days, that's how I can get past this, and then you're like, oh, it's crappie season now, oh, it's
Yeah.
turkey season now.
Always
it
going
never
somewhere.
ends.
Yeah.
Oh, it's getting worse too. The older I get, my wife's like, "What the?
Yeah.
What are you doing now?" Oh, well, it's bass season.
Yeah.
See you later.
It's time to go fishing.
It's time to go fishing.
That's right.
It is, in the off season, you can coyote hunt. When
Yeah.
there's no-
Yeah. See,
no
I ain't got
season, you
into that
coyote
yet, and I
hunt.
hope
So
I hope I don't get into that.
You're gonna spend some money.
Because
Everything costs so much on it.
It
harder to
does.
set up.
Everything you do is gonna cost money, though.
It costs a lot of
And
money.
it's golf season now.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we did get some golf. We did get some golf carts. Yeah, we were racing.
We're not
golf
very good
carts.
though. We're way better
We're-
building boats than we are golfing.
I've never golfed.
I think we're better at driving a golf cart around than golfing.
That's a fact.
The ones that have little GPS monitors.
Hey, these things.
Yeah.
Hey, these new golf carts run. Hey, these new golf carts run 30 miles an hour,
oh God, here we go.
and the whole shot is unbelievable.
I know how this is
I
finna go.
tested it out.
We're
Did
gonna
you?
win. We're gonna win.
When
We're
I
gonna win.
loaded them,
Hey, they're pretty fast.
Yeah,
aren't
Are
they?
they here?
I know it.
they're
Maybe we'll get them out on
Ash's
racing.
house.
I think we're gonna screw some
Street racing golf carts.
We're gonna screw
Street
some,
racing.
We're gonna screw some turkeys up with them too,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
for sure.
Well, man,
Well,
this was good, man. I'm glad y'all guys came
Yeah,
and we got
absolutely.
to talk about it.
It's a
and
fun podcast.
We
and
appreciate y'all
we're
having us.
super excited.
Yeah.
We really are.
Man, all I got to say is there's a lot of big things to come.
Yeah.
We're going to do more than just a decoy drop. We've got some other events planned for next year. So it's
Yeah.
just going to get bigger and better.
And for people that don't know where you can find all this stuff, on the Arkansas Tiller Handle page on Facebook is all this information. It's a good community. If you got boat questions, anything like that, there's tons of knowledge in that group. And, man, I think this wraps it up. Guys, thanks for coming again. And, dude, you got to check it out. See us on the sandbar. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications.
Also, too, our new fishing shirts we got in.
Yeah.
Everybody's
They're
wearing
pimp.
them,
I like
Hey.
them.
but these guys. But
We got some new towels, got
They're
some
nice.
bucket hats. Spring season's here. Make
Got
sure
it
you
on
stock up and
everybody.
get
we,
ready.
We also got, we're going to launch Arkansas Tiller Handle merchandise website.
Oh, yeah?
all right, that's good. That's awesome.
So you guys be looking for that, too. That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've
that'd
got a
be
lot of
cool.
cool things in store.
I'm excited for sandbars. Let's do it.
I am
too.
too. I'm ready for it.
I know you are, Chocolate.
Can't wait.
Oh, yeah. With that being said, guys, we'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.